The air in the daily grind still smelled the same roasted beans and cinnamon. A scent from another lifetime, from laughter and whispered secrets. It's funny how a smell can be a time machine pulling you back whether you're ready or not. For 10 years, I'd avoided this place and this smell. But tonight was different. Tonight, I was walking back in time on purpose. Years had passed, but seeing him again felt like stepping into a memory she'd never truly left behind. There he was, sitting in our old booth by the window, the one that caught the afternoon light just right. He looked different, not older, but quieter. The easy confidence she remembered had turned to something deeper, heavier. The boy who could charm anyone with a single smile was gone. He had silver at his temples now, a quiet testament to the time we'd lost. As I slid into the booth opposite him, the worn vinyl felt just as I remembered. Our first words felt fragile, like thin glass. "It's good to see you." I managed to say, my voice steadier than I expected. "You too, Pam. You look good." Simple words, but they carried the weight of years apart. They were placeholders, small talk meant to bridge a canyon of unspoken feelings, of questions I wasn't sure I had the right to ask anymore. Why did you leave? Did you ever think of me? Did you miss me as much as I missed you? The silence between our sentences was deafening. I talked about my life, the art gallery I'd opened, painting it as a success, a life well lived. He talked about his years abroad, sketching cities in a notebook, always moving. We were circling each other, afraid to get too close to the real topic, us. What we were and what we weren't anymore. "It's been a long time," I said, stating the obvious. "It's too long," he replied, his eyes finally meeting mine. They spoke like two people crossing a bridge made of memory, uncertain if it would hold. For a moment, just a moment, I saw the boy I used to know in his gaze. The one who promised me forever on a starlit beach. I wondered if he saw the girl who believed him. The waiter came and went, placing our coffees on the table. Our hands rested near the warm ceramic mugs, close but not touching, mirroring the space between us. Then his hand reached across the table, a silent question. It hovered there for a second, an offering of peace, of reconnection. My own hand moved to meet it, slowly, deliberately. His touch was the answer. A fragile spark reignited, a warmth that spread from my fingertips through my entire body. It was familiar and foreign all at once. "I'm glad you came, Pam," he said, his voice softer now. "I'm glad I did too," I whispered back. In that small contact, the tension that had been crackling in the air seemed to dissolve. The cafe noise, the clatter of plates, the distant chatterette, all faded into a gentle hum. There was only the quiet space between us, filled with the ghost of what we once had, and the possibility of what we could still be. He looked out the window, a wistful smile playing on his lips. "Do you remember that summer, the waterfall?" A laugh escaped me, genuine and surprised. "We got lost. You completely ruined my vacation, insisting you knew a shortcut." He laughed too, a low, warm sound that I had missed more than I realized, until we found it the next day. And it was even better because we'd earned it. The memory washed over them like sunlight through trees, proof that once they'd believed the world was theirs to find. We were just kids, convinced that every wrong turn was just part of a grand adventure, that we could find our way through anything as long as we were together. We spent the rest of that day at the waterfall, not saying much, just existing in that perfect, sun-drenched moment. The years had changed them, given them scars and strength. I told him about the failed relationships, the lonely nights spent staring at a blank canvas, the struggle to build my gallery from nothing. He told me about the cities that never felt like home, the feeling of being an outsider, the search for something he couldn't quite name. But beneath the layers of time, the connection still pulsed, alive. We weren't those kids anymore. We were two adults who had been broken and put back together in different ways. And yet, talking to him felt like coming home. "We should do this again. Soon," Lucian said, his expression serious. It wasn't a casual suggestion, it was a promise. I'd like that, I replied, and I meant it more than anything I'd said in years. We stepped outside the cafe into the glowing city night. The air was cool against my skin, and the city lights shimmered like old dreams reborn. The meeting hadn't given me all the answers. It hadn't erased the pain of the last 10 years. But it had opened a door I thought was locked forever. It wasn't the ending she'd imagined, but perhaps the beginning of something new. As he walked me to my car, we didn't hold hands, but the space between us was no longer an empty chasm. It was full of hope. Maybe we couldn't go back, but maybe, just maybe, we could find our way forward. Thank you so much for joining me for this story. If you enjoyed this little journey, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content like this. It really helps the channel, and I'd love to see you again soon. Take care.